Well, it's all come down to this. Expect some major fireworks here. Probably fireworks will make that little effort look very insignificant. Brad Doty joins us, former World of Outlaw sprint car driver, and was with us on a coverage a couple of weeks ago. Brad, the points chase, it's hotting up. Jackson and Hannigan. The championship is decided right here.
Yeah, it's real close. They've been battling it out the last few races, and the racetrack's really unique tonight with all the rain. It's a little rough and heavy, and boy, the guys going to really have to get their elbows up. I think Hannigan has to win the race, and Skip has to finish fourth or worse.
Yeah, and that is, you know, if we've followed Skip Jackson's consistency, huge crowd in attendance, and don't they appreciate the effort each one of these drivers has put in, because the track is horrific. Let's just put it that way. A lot of water. The track staff have done everything they possibly can. We're green. Kerry Madsen is your man. Danny Smith back in the field. Out of turn number 2 they work, and somebody, I think it's Hannigan, or is it Gressman, getting a lot of air out of turn number 2. Madsen, your early leader. Brad, they're going to have to work hard tonight.
Well, you can see right there, especially in the middle to the top groove, really rough. A lot of, right here, you'll see him going to turn 1, just bouncing through those holes, and as a driver, the best thing you can do is just stand on the throttle and try to blast through them. If you hook a rut, right there again, that's some of that ruts they're getting a hold of. If you hook a rut out of the throttle, you can turn the race car over, so you really got to be standing on the gas.
Someone was telling me, in fact, it was Steve Brazier, Brad, was telling me that the thing that'll work the hardest on these cars tonight is the motor.
Oh, exactly. I mean, you bounce through a hole and the back tires come off the ground, and you can free rev the engine, and you can tag a valve on the piston and bend valves. So it is really hard on the engine because it can be bogging the engine, and as soon as it lifts off the ground, as we see the yellow come out there, as soon as the engine lifts off, you over rev it, so a driver has to be careful on the throttle.
Well, Bob Jackson, the Sydney Express Courier's number 12, comes to a stop out of turn number 2. He's hoping that, well, his brother may in fact be able to do a little better than that tonight and finish up the order in front of Hannigan. And at the moment he is in front of Hannigan. There is Perovic. Hannigan is one spot behind. Oh, look at Robbie Farr getting right into it out of turn number 4. I notice everybody pretty well staying to the bottom, Brad.
Yeah, another car there coming out of turn 2 hooked a rut. It's pretty smooth right around the bottom, but if they just slide up just a little bit, they catch the right rear. And boy, it's a handful.
There is David Anderson in the second spot. Gressman in car number 2. He's been very valuable down under on this trip. Jackson sits in behind him. Skip runs a lot of angle on that main wing, more so than anybody else. I'm told that he puts the right rear wheel out, gets a little bit more offset, and likes to pin the left rear to the track.
Yeah, that with the more wing angle, that does hook the back of the car. And by moving the right route, that lets the car slip into the corner, but the wing will bury the car coming off and give it forward bite up off the corner.
Well, just about everybody's got the wing forward, but as we're talking about, well, Perovic is running a fair bit of down angle too.
There's
wow.
Another car.
Gee, that really looks hard on gear.
Oh, that berm over there is about a foot tall, and it's like running into a big cement wall or cement curb at over 100 miles per hour.
Robbie Farr, not scared of any track conditions. Neither is this man in your shot right now. Kerry Madsen out of St Mary's, your race leader. So often he has the potential to do this, to grab a big race by the scruff of the neck and just race away. Anderson, Gressman, Jackson. Race is starting to settle into an order, but traffic is just ahead.
Yeah, that's going to be the key when they get to traffic. Right now, everybody's running. As you can see that berm right there.
Huge,
look how high that is. But they're all running around the bottom. They're single file. But when they get to traffic, they're going to have to move around and maybe move up into those ruts.
Well, everybody else is going to be down the bottom, so you're going to have to try something else. Gressman just a whisker behind Anderson, who's having a really good run. All the big guns in this particular event. Gary Brazier missing from the action. Qualified, but didn't take any further part in the night's proceedings. Back into the turn number 3. Gressman, Jackson, Perovic, and Hannigan. And Randy is a little bit too far out of the shot here. It's not looking good for him.
No, he's just got to really throw all the stops out here and go for it. But what he needs is a caution flag to bunch the field back up to give him any chance at winning this race.
Well, here's Madsen up onto the tail of JJ Manee for the 14, who moves well out of the way. He got the lapping flag. But what is somewhat of a concern here at the moment is Hannigan hasn't got the red light that a lot of people thought we might get on a track like this. We thought a lot of people might have come unstuck, but it seems like everybody's doing the right thing.
Yeah, generally you'll get some crashes on a racetrack like this, especially with the inexperienced drivers. And boy, they're all doing a great job, and the race is going nonstop.
Well, there is Anderson, there is Gressman, and Jackson looking down the gun barrel of 3 consecutive World Series Sprintcars crowns. And wouldn't it be lovely if you could go back to a little place called Knoxville in Iowa and win 3 track championships there? I think he's capable of it.
Oh, he absolutely is. And what a contrast to this racetrack. It's a real big. Oh, you got a yellow there.
Well, see, just rolled over the lip then. Perovich, oh, what a shame for Marty. High points, man, to have trouble there, but just saw Gressman roll over that ridge there.
That just
That's
shows
got to be almost 2 feet high.
Oh, and what it does, if you straddle it, it just packs mud up in front of the radiator, up and around the engine, up in the floor pan, around the throttle pedal and everything. So it can really give you fits where maybe they can't get full throttle.
Would that start to affect the running temperature of the car too, if you get a lot of clay built up around the radiator?
Yeah, if it blocks the nose of the race car, gets clear up and packs the front of the up under the hood, or should I say bonnet over here, I guess.
There you go.
Then it'll pack it full and it can't get air to the radiator.
Well, Kerry Madsen streaks away again. Skip playing the percentages game. You won't see him do anything silly that will put his championship in jeopardy. There is Adrian Marr with his brother-in-law, John Shaw, in car number 66. Gressman starting to come on a little bit. I would imagine Phil Gressman has never seen anything like this in his life.
Well, he's used to running in Ohio, and generally they're a lot smoother and drier than this. But
Glad
again,
you said that.
Well, yeah, I didn't say dry slick, but to give the track management here, credit, we rained right up till race time. About 4 o'clock, it was still raining, and they did the best they could do, and under the circumstances, we're getting the race in, and that's the important thing.
And everybody's on the same racetrack as we see Trevor Green coming off the track in the number 4. Hannigan twisting the chassis, picking the front wheels up. There is Robbie Farr in the O'Brien Aluminium number 4.
Car hitting the ruts again out of turn 2 there. And what happens, the track, it doesn't get smoother, it gets rougher. The longer they run, the rougher it gets. The right rear starts digging it up, and it just continues to get worse and worse.
Well, what is a bit of a shame about it is the cushion is so low. Here comes Gressman trying a move. Cushion being that rail of dirt or clay that we're talking about, right through about 1/3 track up. There the guys are putting the right rear right in it. If that was up a little higher.
Normally that's way up on the top of the racetrack under normal circumstances, and the guys just can't run through that enough to move any of it up. And now it's just that big berm, and the only way to move that's with a bulldozer.
And not for a while yet, because it's far too wet underneath. Madsen is absolutely blitzing around this place.
Now watch coming out of turn 4 here. You can really see right there, you can really see the angle of Skip Jackson's wing. There with Randy Hannigan behind him.
Keeps the car very stable, doesn't he?
Yeah, he runs the car real straight, real stable, does what he has to do.
Percentages is probably the best way to describe Skip Jackson. He's so consistent and just methodical in his approach. Back out of turn 4, I bet you if he wins this championship, he'll tell you how fortunate he was.
Well,
main straight, fortunate rail, yes, but how about approach?
Well, and they build their own race car too, the Jackson brothers, and that's a real credit because that's a working race car, and they know how to get it hooked up right on the bottom and drive right, get a good bite off the corners, and that's what you have to do to win a lot of these races.
Look at Madsen. He's coming up to put a lap down on Max Dumsney. Drew Kruk is just up ahead of him. This is remarkable stuff for Madsen to be up. Oh, Kruk is... Oh, no, trouble here. Dumsney upside down. Kruk and Madsen is spun to a stop, and you know what happens now?
The leader, 49. He'll have to go to the tail.
Oh, if you stop the car, you have to go to the rear. Let's look up to the top of the screen. You see Drew Kruk in the black car just hit the cushion. That's what we're talking about. Bang!
Now,
picks the whole car up.
Now, Madsen couldn't see that right away because of Dumsney right in front of him blocking the view a little bit, and there wasn't a thing he could do.
And with no clutch in sprint cars, you stall, you stop.
Oh, what
and
a helpless...
it's broken the drag link on the left-hand side too, so the steering is affected.
What a helpless feeling.
Oh, look at that. You got to know how he feels, don't you?
Oh, the frustration. Yeah, I've lost a few of them like that myself. Look, he's very frustrated.
It's not Drew Kruk's fault either.
No, it's just unfortunate circumstances, but still, when you're the leader of the race and dominant like he is, what a heartbreaker.
Well, there's Max Dumsney. Oh, Kerry, look at that. Well, that's frustration. Absolutely wild with the situation. We've seen Kerry in so many situations where he's got a big race almost locked away like that, and then something happens. Just goes to show you that anything can and usually does happen in motor racing.
Oh, and look,
upstairs,
Randy Hannigan.
Hannigan's got to go for it, doesn't he? There's about 6 laps to go, and Randy knows the championship could be decided right here.
Look how far around he went, Wade. Going into turn 1, he drove clear above those holes. He knows. See that? Look at that. Right through the rough. That's all he can do, because running on the bottom, you can't pass, obviously. You can't pass follow him, so he's got to try everything.
Gee, this is gutsy stuff, isn't it, Brad Doty? Look at him way up high. Jackson keeps it down low. He's playing percentages. Hannigan has nothing to lose here. He goes back upstairs, right around the outside. Can he pull it off? Even if he does get Jackson, though, he's got to get to the lead.
Yeah, not only does he know he has to get around Jackson, but he has to win this race.
Oh, Jackson gets Gressman. And here comes Randy upstairs. What great racing there. 3 wide out of turn number 4. Look at Randy. the little bloke from San Jose, right up high. See, I tell you what, you got to give him an A for effort, Brad.
Yes, he's sure doing it. It's almost like Jackson knew he was coming. He was behind Phil Gressman, and all of a sudden it looked like he knew he had to get going. He got around Gressman and Randy's right there with him.
Well, the pit crew would have told Jackson where Hannigan was, and onto that red, you can bet Hannigan would have spoken with his crew chief, Buzzy Buswell, and said, what are we going to do? And if I know Buzzy, he would have said, hang him out on the table, let's go for it. And that's basically what he's done. Anderson back in the second spot. In fact, Anderson is now a leader. Well, after Madsen's demise, Anderson's gone on very strongly, and Jackson has skipped well clear, if you'll pardon the expression. Boom! Fireworks go off. World Series Championship has decided. Skip Jackson, a very worthy winner, but how about that little guy Hannigan?
Did everything he could do. Just pulled out all the stops, just came up a little bit too short.
What a great drive from David Anderson, the Wagga Mobile Cranes, number 37. He does an extra lap around. Skip Jackson, there he is. He's your World Series champion. What a great drive. Consistent all year, he wins the series. Well, despite a diabolical racing surface due to some phenomenal amounts of rain, that was a pretty impressive feature race. Skip Jackson hanging on by his fingertips to win his third consecutive World Series Sprint Cars crown. Hannigan proved a worthy adversary. He clocked up far more wins than anybody else in the series. Brazier was again tough. Tatnall will probably hope for a better result next year. The World Series Championship, though, has proved again to be a big winner in Australian sprint car racing. So let's wrap up the points after 15 rounds of this $500,000 National Series. Skip Jackson taking the win with 10,480. Randy Hannigan with 9,800. Gary Brazier finished third with 6,320 points. Brooke Tatnall 5,955, and rookie Robert Farr with 5,200 points.